Hey guys, Rojimbo here, and today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the Order of the Black Shamrock knife. And the Order of the Black Shamrock knife is the exclusive knife that you're only able to order if you become part of the Order of the Black Shamrock, which is Ernie Emerson's order that he formed based off of the chivalric ideas of kind of the old warriors code and sort of the Templar Knights ideals. And this is something that I was at first a little bit hesitant about joining because joining any kind of order was something that was a little bit uncomfortable for me. I don't like to be held to anybody else's ideals, especially one that is kind of involved with being warriors. I believe in the use of arms or sort of fighting the good fight, but I didn't want to necessarily align myself with something that was so kind of militant or something so martial. That said, when I read the rules and I read what Mr. Emerson had to say about the order, it really spoke to me. And so last year on this day, February 4th, I actually joined. Partially because I really wanted this knife, but also because I did feel that there was something to kind of taking an oath that one will be held and will hold themselves to kind of a higher purpose. It's just too easy right now to kind of entertain oneself and kind of piss away the time in kind of self-service. Whereas kind of having something that calls you to a higher ideal and kind of like calls you to follow in the footsteps of kind of the noble ancestry and lineage that we really all have in our background. That kind of spoke to me. And one of the things that Ernie says on the website, let me read you real quickly. He says that not all who feel compelled to join the order need to or be required to fight with fist and arms, as there are those whose voice, words, and deeds are their swords and shields, and are the most valued in their time of need. For there are times when a sharp wit and a pointed pen are more telling than a sharp blade or true aim. So, that really spoke to me. I feel like, modern day, not that many of us actually need to deploy a blade in order to defend what is right. Yet we all do kind of fight a daily battle to sort of stand up for what we feel is correct and true just in day-to-day circumstances. And I really resonated with that. So anyways, a year ago, I joined the order and ordered this knife right away. And I didn't get the knife until a couple weeks later when they had time to process this package. You get a membership, a copy of the 12 rules, which you can find online on orderoftheblackshamrock.com. Anyways, let's get into the knife because that's what we're here to look at. This knife is absolutely badass. It's one of my favorite Emersons. I mean, I know I say that about almost all of my Emersons, but truly, this is one that's not going to leave my side because this is a knife that it means something to me. It reminds me that I have this kind of noble lineage behind me that I need to kind of follow in the footsteps of. And I think that's really what Ernie was hoping to do with this order. And it's wearing right now a thumb disc, a brass 45 shell that's been cut into a shamrock by one of the other brothers in the order. Kales, if you guys know him on Instagram. The blade, black coated, has these inscriptions on the back here. Let me see if I can get it to focus. It has Pax Armis Accuratur, which is basically peace through the use of arms. And remember again, arms in our modern world is our voice, is our wit, is it's how we actually interact with the world. That's what our arms are. And sometimes it actually means a blade as well. And if you have to use this blade in that circumstance, this is an amazing blade for that purpose. It's also a great utility knife. I've used it in a lot of places, cutting stuff out in the backyard, doing chores and stuff, or just inside daily kind of tasks. Really beautiful drop point, this kind of nice, kind of concave drop point, and then an additional drop at the very tip, making that a really robust tip. And just a really attractive looking knife. There's really nothing else in Emerson's catalog quite like it. When I first saw this thing, I thought, I don't know, why would I want that? It's no different than a Commander. And it absolutely is different from a Commander. Yeah, they both have a recurve blade, and they both do have a similar kind of slope in the back here on the butt of the handle. But they are different knives, completely different knives. They're very similar in size and length. The blade on the Black Shamrock knife is just a tiny bit longer, not by much. They both feel great in hand. This Commander I've always thought of as one of the best feeling knives ergonomically. I'm sure if you've held one, you know what I'm talking about. That said, this Black Shamrock knife is every bit as good, if not better, ergonomically. I don't know what exactly it is. I think maybe having this nice sort of swell around where your fingers are going. You kind of have this. It gives you that kind of indexing with your pinky and ring finger, or your pointer finger, as well as that curve that fits just nicely into the meat of your hand there. It is so locked in. Feels amazing in reverse and transitions really easily between those. Just a outstandingly done knife. And all the little touches. I mean, you've got the Order of the Black Shamrock inscription here, as well as the Templar cross. Just looks great. And the black on black is just a really beautiful knife. It's a standoff model, or not a standoff, a backspacer model, so not standoffs. But personally, I like the backspacers better. Does have a really nice, good wide lanyard hole here, so if you run a lanyard, that works well. Nice little bit of jimping in here and in here, as well as on the back. And just a really beautiful knife. There's something about this sort of it has the right amount of curves and the right amount of straights that just balance it so well. There's really nothing else like it in the Emerson catalog. I would say the closest thing is maybe your CQC 15, because you have some of the same kind of features in sort of the roundness through the where the fingers rest, as well as this nice straight portion leading to kind of that sort of drop point. But there are extra curves in this Black Shamrock knife that the 15 just doesn't have. 15 is badass, but I really like this one better. Very similar in size, as you can see. These the 15 and the Black Shamrock knife. Let me get this out of the way. There it is with the commander next to it. So you can see it's basically the size of any of your full-size Emersons. Let's put it next to like a 7. That'll give you a sense of how much bigger it is than something like a 7. And then right next to something like a micro commander, which I've really been enjoying a lot lately. It's the right size for me to carry legally, this micro commander. And while I don't like the look of that hole, the fact that it doesn't have a thumb disc allows me to use all 3 inches of that cutting length really effectively. And I'm just such a fan of the recurve. These two are kind of a nice set of black recurves. I like pairing them up together. But yeah, so it is a good sized knife, this black Shamrock knife. I guess I could also put in the sheepdog. And then just because I actually got this other knife at the same time as the black Shamrock, I will throw in the Commander Balisong. So it's a little shorter than the Commander Balisong. I actually, last year on Valentine's Day, my wife's a good sport, on the way down to San Diego for a little vacation, I hit the Emerson showroom and picked up this knife, and at the same time that morning, this knife arrived in the mail from Blade Headquarter. So it was just like an Emerson Valentine's Day. But yeah, so these 2 knives are kind of like forever tied together in my mind for that reason. This is such a nice knife. Maybe this will be the next video. It almost has a Gypsy Jack type look about it, doesn't it? Just because it's so thin and then flares out like that. And then yeah, this one with the nice 23. My birthday, just happened to get that serial number. Very, very nice thing. But yeah, so that's the Order of the Black Shamrock knife. I think it's a really wonderful knife, and I think that if you align yourself, or you feel called to align yourself with, you know, the order and the ideals that they set forth, it's well worth picking up one of these knives as well. That said, these are not always available. Sometimes they're doing a run, and sometimes they're not. As you can see, I got number 824, so they've made quite a few of them. They've been making them for years. I don't think they're going to stop anytime soon. Don't try and buy one of these on the secondary market. Occasionally, you can find them on eBay or some other blade forum or something like that, but it's highly frowned upon by the Order, and frowned upon by Ernie, and yeah, it's a bad look, you know. Don't buy one of these unless you're willing to kind of commit to what is involved, you know, becoming part of the Order. And yeah, really, really sweet knife. It's also a really cool brotherhood of folks. You know, there's a good little online community, and yeah, really, really awesome knife. One of my favorites. Anyways, not much more I can say about that, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and hope you guys have a really awesome week. Have a good one. Rojimbo out.